Do you ever have that conflicting feeling where we start to think that maybe we should stop scrolling and use our time to do something that's actually worth it, but it just seems so hard and impossible? It's as if our eyes are glued to the screen in front of us. A lot of times we relate ourselves to being lazy or simply just too easily distracted. We point ourselves as lazy and simply distracted for too long, we actually create a cycle where we repeat it again and again, and in the end we really get nothing done. So how do we break off this cycle? For me personally, I developed a time blocking system that actually helped me break off this cycle. For the past year and a half, it has done wonders for me, and hopefully by the end of this video, you too can get something out of it. We often tend to think that the things in front of us are distracting us from doing what's actually meaningful to us, and we tend to lose focus on what actually matters. But after hearing a piece of advice, it actually hit me. What are you distracted from when there was nothing to be distracted from in the first place? So the whole basic concept of this idea is that you've never really planned to do anything anyway. So what are you distracted from? The idea is that we should stop focusing on what is distracting. Instead, we should be focusing on creating a traction to focus on. Like, seriously, if I didn't tell myself that I should be doing this during this period of the day, no wonder I'm always scrolling aimlessly during my free time. And this is where time blocking comes in. They say that writing things down increases the chances of us to actually do something. And I couldn't agree more. It's just that simple. Start by writing it down. And I'm not talking about something such as creating a to-do list. I'm talking about something more specific, where we assign things that are meaningful to us throughout the whole day. There is something that is equally, if not even important than knowing about time blocking, which is taking action. Personally, I recommend that you start by prioritizing things that need to be done, then schedule what you would like to do. In other words, there are a lot of things that we practically have to do, such as work, driving to a place, meeting up clients. These are things that, like it or not, we actually have to do it in a sense. So prioritize scheduling this. I bet you that once you schedule down what needs to be done, you'll realize that you actually have a lot more time than you think in a day to do what you want to do. And once you start developing this time blocking system into your life, you'll find out that it's actually not that hard, and you may even have like these little time hacks, as I like to call it, throughout the whole day. Basically, one of the time hacks that I recommend is like stacking 2 tasks at the same time, if that makes sense. Basically, I take the train to work every day, and one day I was thinking that why not incorporate something to do while boarding the train, since I have nothing better to do anyway. So I started incorporating my reading time with the time I'm boarding the train, and basically have finished the majority of my books on the train rather than anywhere else. Okay, back to the point. And something that is important to note is that we all have busy lives. We all have things to do in life, and there are often times there are sudden events, such as a sudden meeting, such as a sudden trip next month, and you have to be flexible. We have to learn to be flexible. Even though strictly following your time schedule, on paper is not a bad thing, because you're actually getting to do what you want to do. But at the same time, flexibility is also that important, because our lives are constantly changing. We could have a sudden issue later on. We could have a sudden meeting tomorrow. That's why we have to learn to stay flexible at the same time. And there's one more important thing that I have to note is that never ever delay updating your time schedule. Oh, start a meeting tomorrow and I'm just gonna schedule it later. You and I both know that you're never likely going to schedule it if you delay it. And most likely, on the day of the meeting, you're not going to follow a schedule and you're not going to get anything done. One more important thing to note is that your time scheduling abilities or your time blocking system that you are developing is never going to be perfect right off the bat. The only way is to track your progress and look back onto it. That's what makes tracking progress so important in the taking action part. Once you find out what you are unable to comply to consistently, then you can readjust it. You can improve your time scheduling abilities by adjusting it. We're all humans. We sometimes feel lazy. I just have a bad day today. I really don't want to do this now. It's okay, it's normal. If you really can't bring yourself to do that at the time, just readjust it and you'll get better at it sooner or later. One last thing that I find is important is that never label things as good or bad. At the start, I used to think that the time blocking system was just solely for my productivity purposes. My mind suddenly starts to label things such as reading, learning into good things, and things such as gaming and movies into bad things. And once you fill up your whole time schedule with good things, you'll find out that it is actually so hard to follow through your schedule. It's normal. We're all wired differently. Maybe some of us can tolerate, but most of us, we can't tolerate a life that only tells you to go forward and do what is labeled as good. If anything, schedule your entertainment, schedule when to watch a movie, schedule when to play games. When you schedule gaming and movies into your daily time schedule, it actually helps limit the time you spend on entertainment rather than not scheduling it and just putting your focus on entertainment for the whole day. I like to see it in this way. The aim of time blocking is not to filter out all the bad things in life and solely focus on productivity, but it's to balance out the good and is to balance out the entertainment and productivity purposes in our lives. It's to limit the time we put on entertainment and allocate more time to do things that are actually meaningful to us. That's basically it for this video. And if somehow you start to develop a time blocking system after watching this video, stay consistent. Anyone can do it. At least that's what I believe. Thank you for watching.